Good evening, guys. Welcome back to Real Reds Talk, the authentic football fan channel made in Manchester. This is your breaking news show.
We want Blaze House and we want Blaze House. We want Blaze House and we want Blaze House. We want Blaze House and we want Blaze House.
Yes, what's going on, people? So as the Rasmus Hojlund talks continue, Mason Mount has completed his medical today. According to reports, we've agreed personal terms with Amrabat. No one expected that. Rio Ferdinand has given us an update on the ownership situation. I say update in brackets. We've got players who are returning back in training. It's all going off with Manchester United in a minute. So make sure you are in the comment section. Get your questions in for the lads as we go through the topics on the table. Now, whilst we're waiting for these hyenas, also known as the Glazers, to kind of bite each other over who gets the biggest cut of meat, also known as Manchester United, the club is struggling a little bit in the market. We're looking at plan C's and D's to bring in as primary targets, but ones that you would only consider really as like secondary. Someone like a Rasmus Hojlund is someone you look at like you want to bring in with a Kane as well, but this is someone we're looking at as a primary option. The Glazers are using this kind of FFP as an excuse, which is absolute bollocks in my personal opinion. And we're starting to stall on a couple of deals like Onana, this Rasmus one we're going back and forth on. There was back and forth on the Mason Mount one, but we'll just stick with Rasmus Hojlund at the minute. And these are the latest updates, and then I'll get the lads' thoughts on it. Welcome to the lads, of course. I've not done you an intro there, but is what it is. So Rasmus Hojlund remains on United's list. The clubs appreciate him and believe he has huge potential, but want to pay a fair price. The discussions are positive with the entourage, and the player is very open to the idea of joining United. Manchester United haven't bid €35 million for Rasmus Hojlund, despite certain reports. It'd make no sense, as Atlanta want at least 60 to 70 million euros, but Man United will not overpay. Hojlund remains high on Man United's list as talks took place. He's super keen on the move, and he'd love to join Manchester United, but there is a gap in valuation. So, Sam, what's the max we should spend on this deal, time-wise and money-wise? Can't hear you.
You're muted.
Muted.
Yeah. What were we looking at? Was it 35, 40 million? That's what United
Well, that's the supposed bid,
Yeah.
but United won't put that in because, like I just said there,
Yeah.
Atlanta are looking at 60, 70 million euros.
That is something I would be happy with paying. Like, the guy is a raw talent. He's not a Garnacho level. He's not a Cristiano when he was younger level. Like, he's not that type of guy. Like, he's not at that level at such a young age. He's got potential, could be molded into something. Clearly has a little bit of something because he's made it to Atalanta, and they value him highly. So he has something, but he's not worth more than 35, 40 million euros. Like, in my eyes, he isn't. And if they want to try and twist United to pay 80 million euros, they're out of their fucking minds. And if that's the way, if United went in with a 35 million bid and they say no, we want 80, just walk away, because it's just there's no negotiating that's going to come for that, where United come out with a good deal and we don't look like we've overpaid for a guy who scored 9 goals in a season, which is decent for a young striker, absolutely decent, but it's not clinical numbers. Like, it should, if you're paying 80 million, just to figure this, like, Gonçalo Ramos is apparently available for 69 million, that according to Benfica, they've lowered their price. So is he better than Rasmus Hojlund? I would say so. He's proven it on a bigger stage, bigger club, in the World Cup. I'd be more happy to pay 69, 70 million for Gonçalo Ramos than I would be pay 80 million for Rasmus Hojlund. So that's where I'm at with this transfer. I don't think it happens anyway, but that's where I'm at.
Oh, interesting. Well, I'd love to hear everybody else's thoughts. We've got 17 people in the chat to start the show, which is very nice. Lovely to see you all again. It's been a bit of a busy weekend, but we're back on it now, and we've got plenty of content coming this week, plus guests, plus exclusive content as well for all you members out there. So, yeah, stay tuned. Loads to come. Just sticking with Rasmus, Chivet, can you trust someone like this to lead the line? If you're going to go spend money on it, we know the budget's kind of stretched anyway, innit? But if they're not going to go get Harry Kane or something like that, are you confident going into the season as him as your kind of primary number 9?
No.
I thought that was just going to be it then. No. Is that all right?
No. But no, you really can't. I mean, well, he's had one full season at Atalanta, I think, and his physical attributes are really promising. But at the end of the day, if you look at someone, if you're hoping for someone to lead the line, you need more than just that. You actually need the business end of it, which is goals or assists or goals involvement or whatever you want to call it. Speaking about his price, we bought your son. What's your son's name again?
Ahmad.
From Atlanta. Yeah, Ahmad. Yeah. So we got Ahmad from Atlanta for 35. Right. So can you imagine if, I understand that's why they're trying to like lift the price and everything, but at the same time, we can't be idiots. I mean, if Manchester City bought Erling Haaland for like £51 million.
Did they?
What do you mean? Well, officially on paper.
On paper, yeah, on paper.
Right, on paper. Let's just say they bought him for.
There's a lot of stuff that's not on paper at Manchester City, Chivy. Yeah. Well, let's be honest.
That's 117 to add to the current charges that they've got.
Yeah. No, but then, well, on paper he was 51 million. Just imagine how it would look if we then went to buy, Rasmus.
They'd all start saying the B-Tech one, wouldn't they? Hojlund, Haaland, you can see.
Yeah, and then we spend almost more than I don't know how many percent. But yeah, just back to your answer. Sorry for going off on a bit of a thing there. No, I can't rely on him. There's just not enough. I haven't seen enough of him. I watched a fair bit of Serie A this season, and at the start of the season, it was more Ademola Lookman was the main man at Atalanta from the first couple of months up until the World Cup. So when people started talking about Hojlund, I was like, because I'd seen a few games, bro. I would like for him to come and be an understudy or to come and be part of the attack. Even if we don't get anyone else, just to come in and give us something different. Because Marcus, Martial, to a certain extent, Jadon, kind of like the same sort of player. Wide players that can drift in and good with But we need that sort of physical fox in the box, that sort of poacher, which he kind of looks like. And I was watching his highlights, and there was a goal he scored at international level for Denmark. And the ball whizzed, and it was a typical sort of Van Nistelrooy sort of goal. I'm not making any comparisons, but just like a poacher sort of. So yeah, if we can have him to join the attack and then build him, yes. But then to lead the line, hell no.
Yeah. I absolutely agree with that. And we've got an in-depth Rasmus Hojlund clip coming up this week for the members, and that'll be your exclusive content alongside another video, which we'll talk to you about a little bit later on. But that is an in-depth look and analysis at how he plays, what type of player he is, why there's certain comparisons drawn to Erling Haaland, and how he's done for Atlanta this season. So that's going to be an exciting one. Keep your eye out for that. With this being supposedly expensive, Sam, would this deal make sense maybe if they kind of figure out some kind of add-ons? Because you're not going to get a guarantee from someone like this. The guy is raw, right? Let's just put that out there straight away. He's 20 years old. He's 9 goals for Atlanta. You're going to go become the number 9 for Manchester United. It's a massive step up, which we've seen players fail at before. So do you kind of make some add-ons that are almost achievable, but that would make sense? If you're going to do, let's say, 40 plus 20, and then you add in, like, if he scores 20 plus goals for whatever, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Like, would that make more sense, do you think?
Yeah, if you can find a way to do a deal and there's add-ons that are not instantly achievable, but realistically down the line that you could do, and Atalanta are happy with that, then absolutely do the deal and make sure it works for both clubs. I think Atalanta are just looking for straight up cash, to be honest with you. I think they know they can. United overpay for players. They know that United have scouted him and want him. So they're going to make us pay through the arse. They don't have to sell. They're not in financial difficulties as far as I know. Like, I might be wrong on that, but as far as I know, nothing's been reported. So I think they're going to make us pay. And then if we don't pay for him and we don't give the money we want, they'll just carry on next season and they've got their striker still. So I don't think they're arse either way. So I think they just want cash. So I think we could offer all sorts of Martial type deal of Ballon d'Or clauses and all that other crap. I just think unless we pay over the odds price for him, we ain't going to get him. And that's why I think we're not going to end up getting him this season. I think if we're going to get him, it's going to be January or next season when we go back in, when the ownership has changed hands.
Or if Atlanta are asking, what, like 60, 70 million euros, what does that equate to? Like 50 million quid? Something
well, I've seen 80. I've seen 80 million euros.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of figures floating about in there. You don't really know for truth, but let's say somewhere around that kind of ballpark. Let's say 70 million euro, for argument's sake, to meet in between. You're talking about 50 million quid. In today's market, is that a lot for a young, promising striker? Like, if you want to get ahead of the curve on these kind of players, you know, next year, how much is he going to be worth if he continues on this trajectory, and then loads of other clubs are in for him? How much are going to be worth then? That's what I'm thinking, because typically everybody moans at United for not doing deals like this and getting younger players and bringing them in and gambling on certain players. But then if we do it next year and pay 80 million, everyone will be like, why didn't they buy him? Do you know what I mean?
We moan about when players are available for a cheap and decent price and we don't do it. Haaland for 4 million, Casido for 5 million, Julian Alvarez for 15 million. When you take chances on players, young players, and it's a price like that, and they don't work, it's an acceptable gamble because it's 5 million in football terms. It's not that much. £50 million is first team material. If you pay £50 million for a player, we've just paid 55 million for Mason Mount. He's not sitting on the bench. He's playing. We paid 70 million for Casemiro. So that's only 20 million more than 50 million. He's a first team player. So that you play anything after 50 million is a first team player. So if you pay him, he's got to be our number one starting striker, and he's just not up to the grade yet. Like if we wanted to bring him in and he cost us 15 million, fine, bring him in, give him an opportunity. It's 15 million. It's not that bad. But you're paying 50 million, and you've got Gonçalo Ramos there for 69. You got the likes of Harry Kane for 100 or maybe something like around that. You've got to go get those guys. If you're paying a shit ton of money, you've got to go get those guys. You can't be dicking around with 50, 60 million on a guy like this who could be good in the future, but he's not proven yet.
Yeah. I don't think anyone has a problem spending like 50 million on like a young player, but come on, you have to give us something to work with. Like when City spent 51 on Haaland, it's because he had been doing the madness in Borussia Dortmund, and Real Madrid spent, I think they got Vinicius for like 60 million from Brazil. I can't remember the fee.
On that, Trevor, they've just bought a 16-year-old for 60 million pounds. A 16-year-old.
Who, Endrick?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you can understand the hype, because Endrick he has the same hype that Neymar had. He had the same hype that Vinicius had, and they all turned out to be the man or whatever, you know. But we've only this guy is really not, you know, he just looks good in the YouTube clips. He might actually be that good. But then you pay 50 million for, there has to be something, you know, something tangible there. Right now, we're just paying for the intangibles because we know he's quick, we know he's got power, but then he's not scored, you know, we need to see, I think he scored like 10 goals or something.
9 goals.
So his actual ratio, I think it's like 1 in 3 or 1 in 4, which is similar to Vlahovic, in fairness, but again, it's the Italian league, and it was Scamacca who had like 20 odd goals and then moved to West Ham and scored 3, so.
I like the looks of this kid. I really like the looks of him.
Same.
But we just have to be sensible and realistic in the way we approach this.
Yeah, for sure. Should we get some comments, Sam? I'm interested to see what everybody else thinks about this Rasmus.
There's an absolute shit ton. I think people have missed us, which is it's always nice. There's a couple of Amrabat quotes, but I'll get to them when we start speaking.
We're going to touch on Amrabat.
Amrabat, so I will get to them then. Brian Casey, Grey 100. Amy Rorks are all in the chat. Shout out to the Ultra. Shah Sam is there. Appreciate everybody being in here. It's happy birthdays to Nick for his birthday weekend. First comment should have been from Brian Casey. Happy birthday from Amy Rorks. So yeah, people are shouting out Nick's birthday. He's almost as old as me and Chivy. He's getting up there. Yeah. He's getting
still late 20s though, so I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
I'm doing all right.
Yeah. United could go in for Ramos and Hojlund if Qatar comes in. That's if Qatar comes in though, mate. Like we can't deal in ifs right now. No. We won't be comfortable because we'll end up having Martial when we play Wolves. So that is from Vince.
Again, wouldn't surprise me, to be honest with you.
I'm just looking. Is anything that's not Amrabat related? No, everything else is Amrabat related. So I'll get to those. Oh, Grey 100 Ramos all day long and getting on a bit now, Nick. Laughing emoji. So yeah, there you go.
Getting on. Is 28 getting on? I don't know. Yeah, it is interesting though. Rasmus Hojlund, someone who certainly isn't getting on. He's 20 years old, got the world ahead of him, but I definitely don't want to overpay on that situation. So we'll see how that develops. I'm going to move on to Mason Mount because he's completed his medical today at Carrington. And there was a little bit extra on this from Laurie Whitwell. It's saying Ten Hag wants Mason Mount because of his technique on the ball, but also importantly, his application off it. United see him as a modern midfielder capable of carrying out specific tactical instructions and leading the press, a key component of Ten Hag's approach. Chive, where do you think someone like Mason Mount will make the biggest impact? If you look ahead to next season, it's kind of playing off what Laurie Whitwell said there. Where do you think is going to make the biggest of impacts?
I think maybe final third. I think he might play the role that Sabitzer was playing. You know, especially when you watch the game against Sevilla, the one where he scores 2 goals. Like he was further up the pitch. So I think it will be one of them ones where it will be the final third. But Mason Mount comes across to me like a system player. So he might not be the most attractive looking sort of player. But then if a manager has him to play in the right system, he'd be amazing. A typical example of that is like Gini Wijnaldum for Liverpool.
Yes.
He's left Liverpool and went to Roma, I think, and it's just bang average. Like it's just, you know, yeah. But then when he was even when he was at Eindhoven, he was good, but he was not that sort of, you know. But when he played in Liverpool, in Jurgen Klopp's system, like he fit in perfectly. And there was no drop-offs. There was no, oh, he's good today. Oh, he's not so. He was consistent, constantly just on it because, you know, the manager found a role for him. So I don't know if I'm just reaching with this one, but I'm hoping that this is the case with Mason Mount. Because to be honest, based on how we played, or based on the way we started the season, Mount wasn't the sort of player I thought we'd have. And I'm still confused. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm literally just throwing my faith behind the manager on this one. So let's hope he surprises us.
I can see the tactical element behind it. I can see what he's going for. I just think it'll take a couple of games. I also think the big games as well is going to be mega important. And I think I've touched on it so many times, but Eriksen...
He's one of them. Yeah, he's always... but that's the thing about Mason Mount. He is a big game player. Like, he's come through some big games for Chelsea in the Champions League as well. Didn't
he get man of the match in Champions League final? I'm sure he did.
He always comes through for them in the big games. So that's one plus. I think the manager also fancies his tenacity. He's one of them ones. But yeah, it's just, let's just see what happens. I really can't wait for pre-season just to, you know.
I know, not long. Less than 10 days till pre-season, would you believe it? How mad is that? Leeds in Oslo is on the 12th, so it's in 9 days, which is... I'm happy. I don't care if it's pre-season. I was saying the other day, I'd watch fucking, you know, under 20s. Like, I just want to watch some live football. I miss it so much. But yeah, from Mason Mount, Sam, what are you expecting in his first year? Obviously, it's a prediction. You don't actually know, but what are you expecting from him in his debut season?
He's another player Ten Hag has got, and he's versatile, which seems to be the trait that all Ten Hag players carry. He can play multiple positions. In Chelsea, he's played the 10, he's played the 8. He can play on the left as well, I believe. So he can play out on the wing if you wanted to put Rashford down the middle if we don't get a striker, which is what I suspect. So he's got versatility, which is great. Again, like Chivy said, system player, very important. The way Ten Hag wants to play, he's not going for players that are the shiny toy or the attractive proposition. He's going for players that they're going to fit into the system that he wants to play, and are going to work and provide the things that he wants for the team. And Mason Mount fits that. He's done it for Chelsea. He's done it in big games, like Chivy said. So that's what Ten Hag, he wants people who deliver when we need it the most. I think we've got a couple of those players in the team, but we're lacking a lot of it in other positions. There's a couple of players who are just not up to standard. So hopefully he comes in and he makes the difference when we need to sort of work with the system, or maybe change the system up, and he can still fit into a slot in that team and provide something. He's very good on the ball. He works hard off the ball, which is something Eriksen lacks a little bit. He doesn't work as hard off the ball. His physicality is not quite there. Like, Mason Mount's not a unit by any chance, but he'll chase back, he'll fight for the ball, and he'll make tackles, which will help you out in that midfield battle, because a lot of games are won in the midfield, especially at the top level with City, Liverpool, those kind of teams. So will need him, especially in the Champions League again. Like, we're in the Champions League again for the first time in a while. There's going to be top fucking teams we have to play, different systems. Like, it's all well and good when you sort of struggle against a low block team, but when you've got a team who's just coming at you for the entire game, it's a very different prospect. You've got to worry about things like that. So I think if Ten Hag rates him highly, I believe he tried to sign him when he was at Ajax, when he was on loan at Vitesse, and they beat him.
In the 3-2 defeat,
and he really rated him then. So he's clearly scouted him for a long time, and he rates him highly. And if the manager rates him, then I'm backing the manager 100%, because he's got this team to where we're at now after absolute years of just pure shite. So if he rates him, he thinks he's going to be important to the team, then absolutely. I don't rate him personally, but if a manager wants him, then let's do it.
And then, of course, that kind of puts Eriksen onto the bench as well, assuming he does come in as the first team player, which then adds to depth in certain games. If you're lacking a little bit of creativity, you can then bring on someone like Christian Eriksen. We've got 44 people in the chat. Please do leave a like on the video. And if you're new around these parts, you love football content, Manchester United, transfer talk, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Just click the button in the bottom right corner. Do you think this narrative would have been slightly different if Ollie was signing him? Because I was just thinking to myself last night, I was like, if Ollie was going for a player like this, then I think there'd be a lot more questions about it. Because
Brexit FC.
Yeah, the Brexit kind, you know what I mean? Like, Wan-Bissaka, Harry Maguire, Mason Mount. Like, I feel like the narrative would have been different there, wouldn't it?
Definitely. Well, you know, I think we got two Ollies. There was the first Ollie, you know, the pre
caretaker Ollie.
Yeah. I used to call it like the mayor of London, because every time we went to London, we'd win every game. We won Spurs, we won Arsenal, So that period, like, I was all, you know, Rio Ferdinand, sign him up now and all that crap.
Oh God.
And then a couple of weeks later, it was like, you know,
Ollie got a Solskjaer.
Yeah, but I think that just shows the trust we have in the manager, because not everyone's really on board with this, but we kind of just have that belief that, okay, finally we have someone that knows what he's doing, and I think everyone's willing to back the manager on this one. So,
someone with a kind of, I'd say, similar ilk, not in terms of positions that they play, but in terms of being a little bit underrated in terms of what they do for the team. Someone like Amrabat for Fiorentina. Now, United have apparently agreed personal terms with Amrabat, and are now in talks with Fiorentina to agree a fee, which I just don't believe for an absolute second. I have no idea. But Romano did say today, United signing a second midfielder this summer is a concrete possibility, but it's crucial to sell players. That obviously being the key thing. But do you think this is a bullshit avenue, Sam? Amrabat?
Yeah. It was reported by, what was the... Is it La Nación?
La Nación,
yeah. So
no idea.
I never heard of them. I checked them out on Twitter. They've got like 30,000 followers. Like, I have no idea like who these fuckers are.
Yeah.
They might as well be these Qatari dickheads that keep blocking me on Twitter, telling them they've got news tomorrow or they've got news next week. They just don't know shit.
Just clarify, they're Qatari journalists.
No, not even journalists. Just people with Qatari flags and Qatari FC in their username on Twitter and claim to be ITK. It's the only one I've seen tweeting it or making any news about it. I haven't seen any other journalists, not even like tier 4 journalists. I've not even seen them talk about it. So I don't know where this has come from. I don't believe it for a second. If he turned up in a United shirt, would I be happy? Absolutely. I think he's just what we need. He had a fantastic World Cup, standout player in the World Cup. I did watch Steve Howson's video earlier today saying his numbers and his stats don't look that great, but obviously stats aren't everything. Like, stats aren't always
especially in that position.
So I think he's a decent option. How much would he cost? I don't know, probably a lot.
Just on that, just very quickly. So Romano again was saying before 35 to 40 million euros, which surprised me because I thought Fiorentina want 50, 60, something like that. But 35, 40 million euros, not a bad deal, to be honest.
If that's probably what he's valued at when United come in, it's definitely 70.
Well, yeah.
It's always the way. Like, it's always the way.
That's the thing, isn't it?
I don't believe it's a real story. Would I like him? Absolutely. I think he'd be a great addition and really good squad depth. But I think it's a nothing story. I just don't think there's anything to it.
Well, before I asked Chivy about his thoughts on him, I just want to get a couple of comments because there's a lot of people asking about Amrabat before, so we'll read out your comments.
Yep.
As always, you bunch of legends. Appreciate y'all.
Is there any truth to Amrabat? I think the agent's stirring up things to get his move to Barca. Well, he was linked with Barca for a while, wasn't he? But that's gone a bit quiet. Shadow, I think you're new. Welcome to the channel, mate. I am Moroccan. I watched every match of my country. Amrabat is insanely, wow, good player. Yeah, he was fantastic at the World Cup. Really good at the World Cup. Really sort of stood out. The whole Morocco team did, really, didn't they? Edgar, Amrabat is a good safe signing. Hojlund looks hungry and big for age. If look at him, in my opinion, but a deal needs to be negotiated. Absolutely. There's people talking about the sale there, so I won't go into that.
We're gonna talk about that towards the end, so make sure you stick with us for that.
Just looking at any more Amrabat stuff. A lot of anti-glazer stuff, which I love.
Yes,
I love all that shit.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah. Trying to think. Aaron Gregory, I'd have Ollie back in a role on the board or something like that when we get taken over. I think he'd be a good fit. He has no qualifications to be on the board. It's all nice being sentimentality. I just don't.
For the vibes, man.
Yeah.
United have always been. That's why Fletcher's there now.
Fucking ridiculous. Stats make Maguire look like a great defender. That's Brian Casey, absolutely. Shah Sam, if we do get him, that will be the end of Scott and Fred. I wish, mate. Absolutely, I wish. Yeah, that's all the stuff on Amrabat anyway.
No problem. Be a nice rotation for Casemiro, though, wouldn't it, Chive? If you could bring in someone, again, I know it's called if, buts, maybes, all that kind of stuff, but someone like that would be an astute signing, in my opinion.
Absolutely. A little bit more grip, a little bit more steel in the midfield. Need a bully. And a technical bully at that, not just someone who's
I like that. That's a very good word.
Yeah, it's technical. He's mad tech. He's got range of passing. And I love those kind of players that play that play with their heads, not just can sense danger. So somebody was saying something about stats. Like I was lucky enough to grow up in like the when we had the great Inter Milan team of like Kaká and Gattuso and all that stuff.
Mate, talk to me. Talk to me, Chivy.
And then that AC Milan team, and then I saw like the Galacticos with Ronaldo and Zidane and all these people. Nobody talked about stats. I don't understand where all this stats thing's coming from now. Like no
Gen Z thing, innit?
Yeah, I never heard anything about percentile this or percentile that.
Nope.
If you're good, you're good.
Nobody ever said the tackles per 90 of Roy Keane or the passing accuracy of Roy Keane. Watch him. He's fucking amazing. Just watch him. He's fucking good.
If you're good, you're good. That's maybe I'm just too old school, and I'm not trying to put down anyone that follows stats. It probably applies nowadays, but I'm just I just don't get it. So back to Amrabat, he's a really good player, technical. He's the kind of player that you want on your team, even if it's to provide squad depth. He can play with Casemiro. If Ten Hag wants to do the Pep thing where he's got Gundogan and John Stones and Rodri as the two, he can do that with Casemiro and Amrabat because they both can spot a pass. They can throw the pass through. It'll be perfect. Whether or not he's linked to us, I don't know. Somebody in the chat said something about being agent driven, which I initially believed it to be. I think it's agent driven because I know he was linked with Barcelona at some point, but there's loads of midfielders being linked with Barcelona. So I don't know if it's one of them ones that his agent has kind of just tried to get this out there, try to push it. But if we are involved, I'd love it, and I think he wouldn't mind coming to United. So that would be a great signing for us. I'd rather have him than have fucking Rabi is good, but I'd rather have a player like him,
There's a question in the chat. Would you prefer Amrabat or Lavia from Southampton?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a really good question, though.
I don't know. That's a really hard question.
I would go with, if you want to win stuff now, go with Amrabat. If you're building something for the next couple of years, you go with Lavia.
Yeah, I would probably just lean towards Amrabat, to be honest with you. I've seen more of him. I think Lavia is fantastic talent. I think he'll get a big move somewhere. But I think in terms of impact, I'd probably agree with Sam. I think if as like just someone to bring in, whether like Chivy said, alongside Casemiro, or as like someone to bring it. If you had Amrabat, Mount, and Bruno in the midfield, the engine on that, you could play about 190 minutes and still be fucking going like it'd be unreal. So yeah, I personally would go.
I'll definitely I'll take Amrabat if it's to come into our team right now, because I'm one of those people that's a firm believer in maturity on the pitch. And if Lavia, if Casemiro gets suspended and we have to replace him with Lavia, I know he can give us a good performance, but say if our next game is against Chelsea, or you need someone with that mental resilience to be able to fill that role. And I think Amrabat has more of like the leadership qualities, or like the the maturity to to deputize for Casemiro. But Lavia he's an amazing player, honestly.
Well, I was discussing before, Lavia, I agree, fantastic talent, very young. How old is Lavia? Like 19, 20, something along the lines of that?
I think he's 20.
Yeah. Southampton want 50 million for Lavia.
It's because they can lose him.
Million.
They can lose him for 40 to City next season, so they're trying to cash in now. If somebody's going to come in, they want to cash in, get more money if he's going to go this season. So,
bottle opener just decided to throw itself at me. I think it might be a ghost in the room or something. No, never a dull day in this room. I swear to God, there's always something going on. But yeah, we'll move it on. We'll move on from Amrabat. The last thing I wanted to say, sorry about him, was I remember when we got Sabitzer on loan towards the end of January, there was interest about Amrabat then. So I think there's defo interest there. But again, we're interested in that many players. We've probably got a list in each position of about 8 players. So what does interest mean, really?
If I ever wanted like a rumor to be true, like a bullshit rumor, that this is one of them ones. Like,
yes. Yeah. Sorry, Sam, you're going to read out some comments then or something?
Yeah. It's just comments are going absolutely mental.
Let's get into them.
There we go. Back to where I was. Lucky Singh went to Birmingham, guys, to help my mum. She's not been well. Sorry to hear that, Lucky Singh. I hope she gets better soon, mate. Hope she's sounds like Donny's going to be mowing AC Milan's lawn. That's Amy Rock. Poor Donny, man. Poor fucking Donny. Kerry Williams, unfortunately, we probably won't sign another midfielder, so Scott and Cole will need our support this coming season. They're going to need more than that, mate. Fucking hell. Lucky Singh, Roma will take Fred. I think Fulham might have him, to be honest with you. I think that looks like the most likely one. Aaron Gregory, stats looked into too much these days. I don't care how many times Ericsson pulls his socks back up per game. Fair enough. Fred, Alex, Tellers, Elliot Bailey told the board they want to play somewhere else. I think the board's told them to go play somewhere else, to be honest with you. Shah Sam and Brian Casey all got saying Amrabat over Lavia. Red Devils TV, just got to work. Sorry I'm late, lads. Good evening. Good evening to you, Red Devils TV. Welcome back. What else have we got? What shirt number does everyone think Mount will wear? Varane's 19 is still available for purchase on the store, so I don't think Varane is switching to number 4.
I was looking at this the other day, and the only number we've got spare is number 13, I believe, and then anything after that is like 20s and 30s. So I'd seriously doubt Varane's going to go, yeah, Mount, you can have my shirt number. It doesn't strike me as that type of guy. No. So I think number 13 or maybe something in the 20s.
I think Varane. I think Varane will go to the 4.
Maybe that'd happen. Yeah.
Because remember when Luke Shaw? Everyone thought Luke Shaw was going to get the 3, and then he chose number 23. And they were already. So some people already bought the Luke Shaw number 3 shirts, and then the season started, and then he was 23. I think he replaced some fan shirt, like some fan bought him.
Mata gave Bruno the number 8, didn't he? When he left.
Cavani did it with Ronaldo as well, then it was 7.
Yeah.
Red Devils TV, McTominay or Fred, which one would you rather leave?
I think Fred, just because we brought Mount in now. I think Mount's closer to Fred than he is McTominay, so I would rather get rid of Fred.
I'll get rid of McTominay.
I agree.
More age profile in McTominay as well.
It's profit on McTominay as well. On Fred, it's not.
Yeah, I'd prefer to sell, like in terms of if I knew there was 2 offers there right now, but I just think we've got more of a chance of selling Fred. Is what I mean.
I get what you're saying now.
Yeah. If Fred is going to Fulham, we should look at getting Mitrovic. I think he's a patch player, man. I don't think he's going to...
Are we going to get that? What about that Palhinha guy?
They want 90 million, Chivy. They slapped 90? A 90... Yeah, they slapped a 90
him for 20.
They slapped a 90 million price tag on him. He's got 4 years left on his deal as well, so you're not getting him out. Varane will have the number because Phil Jones is gone. Okay.
Yeah, that could happen.
Yeah. Can't see football. I wanted 13 footballers are superstitious lot. Yeah, possibly. 15's available. Sabitzer award it. Yeah, we could have 15. Have 15.
Boring. It's a boring number.
What number was you out of curiosity, Chivy?
22.
22. Okay.
I was 25.
I never want to scrutinise certain numbers because they might go, oh, yeah, that was my uncle's favourite, and you're like,
I was 25 because it was 2 + 5 is 7, so United 7, so I had 25.
Any number that ends in 5 is just like 25, 15, just boring.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, 2 little ducks, Chivy. Fucking hell.
I was number 10. Centre attacking midfielder. Very skillful.
24 is being kept for Onana. That's from Anonymous Mango. And then Brian Casey has picked the best number in the entire world, 69. There we go.
Of course. If Adam was in the chat, I would have guaranteed he put that same comment. Would have guaranteed it. Yeah. Right, let's move on to the outgoings then. And again, keep getting your questions and your comments in, guys. We really appreciate it. And leave a like on the video if you haven't already. So I'm going to touch on a couple of ones we're looking at to get rid of, if you will. And again, these are updates from Fabrizio Romano. So United are still waiting to sort out the goalkeeping situation before giving Dean Henderson the green light to join Nottingham Forest. But that deal is pretty much done. We just need to speak to David De Gea, which is going to happen this week. Harry Maguire is going to have a chat with Eric Ten Hag this week, as well as a chance he'll leave the club. And Eric Bailly and Alex Telles have been informed that they are not part of the project. United are ready to accept a small amount of money. The club want them gone this summer. I don't want to sit here and discuss about how bad we are at selling players, because we seem to do that every single show. And quite frankly, I'm running out of patience. But the supposed discussions with Maguire is happening this week. Surely there should be only one outcome in this, right? Like from both sides, from both perspectives, Sam. If you're Maguire, you're Ten Hag. You must have the discussion now. And just say, look, it's not. You're not going to play. It's going to be exactly like last season. And if you're Maguire, you would say, okay, well, let's have a look at a move, right?
Is he though?
You should. If you've got anything about you,
the dude's deluded, man. Like he doesn't think how the rest of the world sees him, because look at how he is in interviews and the way he speaks about himself. How he sees himself, like he doesn't see, like he thinks he's still a key member of the team. Gareth Southgate, for unknown reasons, keeps picking him. He's played how many minutes for United? It must be like less than 200 minutes for United this season.
I don't know, like 8 starts, I think.
Like ridiculous amount of minutes, and he's still getting picked for England as their first choice centre back. So it's just feeding into this like delusion that he thinks he's still at the top of his game, and it's just a matter of time. And I think it's going to take something like England dropping him consistently for a long period for him to finally click and go, oh shit, I'm going to have to move here. Yeah, I need to get a move here to play first team football to get back in England, because there's certain players who playing for England is like their pinnacle of their career. Like that is what they live for and dream for. And I think Harry Maguire is that sort of player. People like Paul Scholes didn't really like it or give a shit. Like they were like, it is what it is. Whereas other players, it's the absolute pinnacle of their career. They love it. They enjoy it. So I think it's going to take England dropping him for him to realise that he has to move on. The other thing is he's on a ridiculous wage. Who the fuck's going to pay his wage? He's not going to take a wage cut to go to West Ham or go to a Bournemouth or someone like that. He's not taking a wage cut to go there. He's got a contract for another, 2 years? I think? 3 years, maybe?
2, yeah, I think.
Yeah, 2 years.
25.
So he's entitled to 2 more year deals. So he might just go, I'm getting my money and like things. So until a club's willing to pay his wages or close to equivalent to that, we're going to be stuck with him, unfortunately. I don't think he's going anywhere this summer. I really don't.
Is there a club, do you think, in the top 10 that would take him, Chivy, right now, Harry Maguire?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if it's top 10, but like, him going to Spurs makes sense. Him going to West Ham makes sense. I don't remember where West Ham finished. Fulham kind of makes sense. I don't think I don't agree with Sam in terms of him wanting to stay and be this big-headed guy. I think he knows. Like when we had the final, the Carling Cup final, like the man didn't
Carling
play.
Cup. Fucking hell, you're going back there.
Yeah.
Carabao.
Carabao.
Cup, yeah, sorry. I'm 56 years old. So.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Every day it just goes up another year.
The English League Cup.
Do you remember when it was called the Worthington Cup?
Yes.
No, I probably wasn't even alive when that was called.
Kids, it was once.
I remember the
Worthington Cup.
I remember the Worthington Cup.
Yeah, when Liverpool won it.
How can you go even worse than Carling Cup? That sounds worse than the Carling Cup.
What it was.
God.
The FA Cup used to be the Coca-Cola FA Cup, didn't it? Like back in the day, the Coca-Cola FA Cup.
Pants, mate. All sounds shit.
Bandulu name. Anyway, what was that?
I have no idea.
What are you talking about? Harry Maguire. Yeah.
Yes. From shit to shit to shit.
Yeah, like so when we had the Carling Cup final, like he didn't play, and then at the end, when obviously the captain gets the thing, the trophy, but it was him and Bruno. You could tell that he just knew, like, man, like that's it. Like, I'm not needed here. And I think a lot of England managers have been talking. Well, former players have been saying, "Oh, he needs to play. He needs to start." I think even getting the abuse from Man United fans, nobody would want to stay. Like, so I think he's looking to move. Obviously, he's not just going to move to anywhere, and I think he's done. I think he knows it. His time is up. It's better for him, for his career, and I don't really see the arrogance when I watch the interviews. Maybe I'm just oblivious to it. But
I don't think it's arrogant. I think it's more like blind confidence.
Delusion.
That makes sense. It's not saying like I'm great.
Yeah.
It's like,
he doesn't see, like, he thinks in his head that it's one situation, but in reality it's something. Like when he was getting picked with Ollie when we were fucking disastrous. He was like, well, I must be good. He actually said, I must be doing something right because the manager picks me every week. And you're like,
no, he didn't say
he
that.
did. I swear to God. Like, it's in an interview. This is what I mean. Like he doesn't see it how everybody else sees it, and that's my point. Like, he's so blinders on to the situation.
Yeah.
That's why I think he thinks like that. It's like, mate, you're £80 million. You were made captain. That's why you're playing every week. That's the reason why. You're not playing because you're good. You're playing. That's the reason why.
I'd probably think I'm the bollocks if I was United captain and got paid for £80 million. If I'd look at it, I'd be like, I must be good. Like,
I just
what I mean?
I just feel sorry for him. Like, it's just he just found himself in this situation. Like, But yeah, I think he's done. He can go to
whatever.
Saudi, wherever.
Saudi. Do you want Maguire?
Yeah. Just can't go to Greece.
Captain don't go to Greece.
Yeah.
Don't go to Greece.
Yeah.
What was that solution, Nick? Italy. Go to Italy. Every other fucking place. Send them to Italy.
Anyone? Smalley's done all right there. It's much more, more defensive. There's not as many.
Ashley Young won a Scudetto.
Damian won a Scudetto.
Yeah, just look at the path of your previous lads who didn't make it at United, and you can do the exact same. No problem. Yeah, right. I want to talk about some more departures because there's a lot to get through here. This De Gea thing. What do we think stalling this? Like, what's the crack with this? Because I know we had his wedding over the weekend, and then we saw lovely Herrera and Juan Mata there. The three amigos kind of reuniting, which was nice to see. Didn't see John Murta there or Richard Arnold or any of these guys.
Harry Maguire.
Their invitation probably got lost in the post. But now that's done. It's the start of this week now. Why is there no movement on this situation? Obviously, it's $1 million question, but what's going on with this goalkeeper situation? Why is he not gone yet? Any thoughts? Any?
We're trying. Yeah. Imagine they served this fight like here's your P45 on his wedding day. Now fuck off.
Well, let's not pretend that they hadn't been talking about it pre-wedding. Like, it was pretty much like what everybody was talking about. So he knew. It's not like it's new news to him. Like,
he got married on Saturday, and then like at like 11:45 on Monday morning, like John Murch was like, "This is a good time to call."
To texting him, what's up? Can I give you a ring? Can I give you a ring, mate?
Would you put it past United? You wouldn't, would you? Like, just distasteful. Just like, yeah. Are you ready for a chat? Can I FaceTime you? He's just like, fuck off, mate. Like.
In the wedding card, they'll be like, happy married life, blah, blah. P.S.
Yes. Can we talk about your contract, please? Or your non-contract?
Yeah. I think we're trying to sort out, aren't we, the situation, because the Henderson sale is seemingly on hold because we don't know what's happening with De Gea. So he's not going anywhere. So that's being held up for this reason. De Gea is... We withdrew a deal and then we put another deal on the table for even lower money. So he's not accepting that yet. The Onana deal is... We've signed everything off and everything's ready, but we've still not submitted the bid, even though we were supposed to submit the bid last week, and we've still not submitted the bid. We're not willing to pay more than 50 million, but our Inter will not take less than 50 million, and our budget won't stretch to beyond that. So it's all hinging on, can we do this deal with Inter for Onana? If we can, Henderson goes, that money gets put back into the kitty, and De Gea is they've probably said to De Gea, you can stay on this lower wage as a number 2, or you can just go find another club. And then we promote either Kovar to number 3 and Tom Heaton's your number 2, or we go out and get that Justin Bilal or whatever his name is as the number 2. I think that's what happens.
I think we know. Sorry, go on.
No. Go for it.
I think they already know what's going on, because we, as fans, we just feed off whatever crumbs we get from like Twitter and everything.
You blame us though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we just feed off everything. But remember the tweet De Gea put with the yawning emoji?
Yeah.
I think they already know what's going on. It's probably just going to be one of those domino effects where they're just waiting for one thing to happen.
Exactly.
And they can then go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's all sorted. Just because we don't know, we're over here freaking out. I think he's gone, to be honest. I think him and Henderson, that's pretty much done. I think they're gone, because what's the point? If he wasn't going to go, why wait till he becomes a free agent? We've taken, we've refused to sign the deal that we put for him. It's done. It's just, we're just waiting for things to fall into place. So I don't think there's any sort of, cloud hanging anywhere. We just don't know.
Well, I know they said the
Brian will be happy.
It's going to be done this week. I have to get it for you, Brian. You know you love that. But yeah, that's going to be done this week apparently. So we'll just have to wait and see like every other fucking deal or ownership thing that's going on. It's absolutely ridiculous. Last question about outgoings. Important to clear the cobwebs like Bailly and Tellez, right? Even if if we're accepting a packet of peanuts and a fucking whatever,
just get
them off.
Get the wages off the books. Just get them out the door. Get the squads freed up and just get them out. Like it's done.
Yeah. We'll move on from that because I don't want to spend too long on Tellez and Bailly for obvious reasons. Back in training, lads are back in training today, which is nice to hear. Like we touched on at the start, missing football. So Lissandro, Donny, Anthony, Henderson arriving at Carrington this morning. What are you kind of, as we go into pre-season within the next 9 days, Chivy, what are you kind of expecting from that? Do you think it'll be mainly youth players at the start and then we kind of move into it? Are you expecting Lissandro to come in straight from the start? Do you think he's ready for it? Just give us your thoughts.
I was actually surprised to see him in the pictures, like training and stuff. So it obviously means, he's made a recovery. I don't know if it's a full recovery yet. Pre-season for me is just one name. Ahmad. I want to see Ahmad in pre-season.
Music to my ears.
Yeah, man. I just want to see that. It's pretty much it, really. That's the only player that I'm hoping to see how he blends into the team. I think everyone else, it pretty much be the same thing. Everyone. There'll be lots of youth players. I would have liked to see Charlie Savage, but with what happened with Zidane, I don't know if
what happened with what? Who's gone? Zidane, Ethan Laird, and someone else, aren't there? Who I'm forgetting. Zidane went last thing, didn't it? But it's been a few now. Like just like cutthroat, mate.
I don't know if Hannibal gets a chance. I really don't know.
I think he'll go.
Didn't Deschamps Bernard went as well? Didn't he?
Deschamps Bernard went. Yeah. Chong went.
Yeah.
I think he's gone. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And I know we've got like left back was sewn up, but Alvaro Fernandez, if we lose him, just because he's a future like top player. Well, not world class, but he's a top player, and he's a modern fullback. So he's one of them ones where he could actually play in the midfield easily, and also he's very similar to Theo Hernandez in terms of the way he attacks moving forward. And I'd really, really, really want to keep him, and I really want to see him at pre-season as well.
Interesting. What about some more seasoned kind of individuals, Sam? Someone like a Donny van der Beek. Is it straight loan for him, or does he have a chance at all pre-season? Are you writing him off?
I'm pretty much right. Like, stranger things have happened. We've seen the necromancy he's performed on Aaron Wan-Bissaka's career. Like, he's brought him back from the dead. Yeah. So stranger things have happened. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about Donny. I think his time has passed and it's gone. I think the best thing we can do is sell him and let him get on with his career and let him play football somewhere else, because I just don't think he's going to fit into the team. You would think Ten Hag is the guy to do it and bring him back. Maybe he thinks different, but for me, I think the writing's on the wall for Donny, and I think he's on his way out the door. I'm gutted that we'll probably see Ted and Mengi released or loaned out, because I thought that guy was absolute quality, but he just can't stay fit, and he's not gonna like make it to the grade. Much like Axel Twanzebe's gone. He was another guy that was like supposedly gonna step up. Yeah, excited to see Ahmad. Excited to see Garnacho develop in the summer. Charlie Savage would be good. Charlie McNeil might be interesting. Charlie McNeil might be one to keep an eye on in the summer in pre-season, because I think he'll go on pre-season and Ten Hag might take a look at him. I think it's too early for him yet, but it'd be good to take a look at him in the summer and then see where his development out, and then pick a good club for him to go to, because I know was it Notts County was he at? Was on loan last season? Yeah,
you might be right.
So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens to him, because he looks like a talent, that kid.
Yeah, for sure. Let's get into some comments, and then the last topic of the day of the show will be the ownership. So keep getting your comments in, keep leaving a like on the video, and subscribe to the channel if you are new.
So are we not going to talk about the pictures from Garnacho's birthday, like the two?
Oh, the Messi and the Ronaldo thing. That was so weird.
It's bizarre.
I have no idea. Has anyone seen that in the chat? Like, the Garnacho put a picture up on his birthday, which happened to be the same birthday as mine, by the way, which putting that out there. Legends joined the birthday. Anyway, and he had like was it like cakes? Like one cake?
Yeah, two little.
Like
and there was
massive cake. And
there was two little people holding it, dressed in an Argentine. Yeah, they're called little. You can't say the other word now. You have to say little people.
I think, does that not sound more than
no? That's what they want the term to be. That's what they. Yeah. So. But yeah, they're dressed in an Argentina kit, and was it United kit as well? The other one.
No, one of them is one that's wearing a Portuguese national team thing.
Okay.
And the other one was
so it's like Ronaldo and Messi. Yeah,
and they look like twins as well. Like
weird. It's fucking weird.
It was just he's weird. I've always known he's different.
Yeah, he's
quirky geezer.
Out of his mind. Anyways,
his internet history might be a little bit suspect, but anyway.
Nick Slabhead don't have doubt about him, mate. That's grade 100. I don't think we'll hear anything concrete on Onana until the club held that meeting with De Gea, very possibly.
Who?
Onana.
Oh yeah.
No, he's missed it. He's missed it.
You've got to remember. I've got to pull up a soundboard and get the right. Yeah. So better.
You need to have it. You need to have it on like like a quick button.
Yeah.
I really wish when you talk about Donny before, I had the John Cena thing. Your time is up. Your time is like a little quick finger, but nothing. Yeah. So I need to add some more sounds to it.
People are talking about the milk cup. Do you remember the milk cup? Jimmy?
Oh, fuck off with your milk cup. No,
that was for the kids.
Was that the kids? I don't remember that one.
Yeah.
Milk cup.
The FA Cup milk cup.
Yeah. It's like the youth. It was the youth version of the FA Cup. Yeah.
Our demographic is turning into 60 to 70-year-olds.
Yes.
Werthers on a daily basis.
Aaron Gregory. I think it's in reference to Maguire. He goes home and his mum tells him he's the best footballer ever while cooking him turkey dinosaurs.
I'm quite sure that happens because she defends him on Twitter.
Does she really? Does she really?
She does.
Oh my god!
She defends him on Twitter. She comes out on Twitter and oh my boy, what a good. He had an amazing game. Blah, blah, blah.
I didn't know that.
She does.
That's
she
insane.
defends him on Twitter. Yeah.
great. I think Davide is done. There's nothing left to say. Guy had to rip up half his wedding invites. Now he's unemployed. The wedding meal was beans on toast. Fucking hell.
The disrespect in the chat
today. Absolute disrespect.
Fucking hell.
Need Dean Henderson and Fred God. These would be the easiest deals in my opinion. It's 30 million into our pockets. Gums Benjamin, I'll be happy with a window of Mount, Hojlund, Onana, Amrabat, and young defender like John Clare Todoba. Yeah, could be. Tadiba,
yeah,
sorry. The only chat Aaron Ten Hag should have with Maguire is tell him to piss off. Fucking hell. People will not like him, Maguire, today.
Get the fuck out of here, man.
Skip through. The Butcher was also at Carrington today, yeah. We covered that.
I was in with that.
I was not convinced with amount because I know the club will say they don't have any money to spend anymore, and a clinical striker was the priority for me over any other position. That's from Dan Raj. Hope the season is Mainu's breakthrough season. Yeah, that's a guy we didn't mention. Mainu.
I forgot about him.
Could have him in. What about last summer where we probably spent all our budget on Malacia, Martinez, and Casemiro, and then Glazers paid an extra 80 million for Anthony? Do you think the same could happen again? Well, that was on a credit card, wasn't it? Like a credit facility.
Yeah.
And we have 260 million on a credit facility, but we cannot touch it unless the Glazers put money into the club to balance the books, and they ain't going to do that. So we can't. They're not going to do that. We can't use that facility, even though we have it. Donny's more likely to be in the new season of Stranger Things than get game time at United. Fucking hell, just absolute disrespect for players in here today.
Donny needs a break.
Benjamin, only decent youth are Garnacho, Fernandez, Mainu, and Ahmad. Can we sell a player for any more than 1 million? Apparently not. I'd have more faith McNeil being our second choice over Martial at this rate. Jesus Christ. The fucking disrespect. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, people are going in today. They had a full weekend to sit on this.
Just coming out with shit. We have so many youth players don't know what to do and end up selling them for peanuts. If you've seen the first scene of Wolf of Wall Street, that's why them little people were there. The first scene of Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, I know.
I'll have to remember.
They darts, don't they?
Yeah.
Gray 100 said fuck off. I'm 49. He's not 60.
Okay.
Apparently it'd take 2 weeks for the winner to wire their money to Glazers as it's an international transaction. Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, speculation FC for me. But,
okay. Martial's not making it out of our 56 preseason games without an injury. So yeah, people are just going in on players in the comments.
Right. Let's last topic, ownership. According to Rio Ferdinand, who was on with Joel Bayer on the 5 channel, he's talking about what's going on amongst the siblings. So some want to stay on, some aren't happy with the figures that are being offered. So even though it's been 3 weeks since that 5th bid from Sheikh Jassim, they're all still arguing over who gets what and what they want to sell. And it's basically 5-6 greedy twats trying to agree on something effective. That's where we're at with it at the minute. But look at the direct quotes from there, saying, I'm hearing some big things happening tomorrow. Once that happens, we can have a conversation. There's definitely some takeover news happening. I know you can't say too much for whatever reasons. We spoke about it off air. And then Rio said as well that I was talking to Bornstein as well, who's got good knowledge. We've got good sources. So apparently, that's, again, all speculation. We all saw, I think it was a week ago or 2 weeks ago when Rio was at the train station. He was like, good source told me Qatar, and blah, 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 and all this nonsense. To be honest, I don't even know what angle I'll go at this from because we've hit so many angles on the ownership topic. But if you was to make a prediction in your pessimistic ways or realistic ways, whatever you want me to kind of brand it, what do you think, lads, for this ownership situation? The $1 million question. What's going on?
I want to quote my good friend Chivy. I don't care. I don't care anymore. Really don't care.
You actually don't care?
No, I can't. It's all of it is just all the excitement, anticipation has been sucked out. I don't care anymore. Just either sell it or don't. Either sell it or don't. That's where I'm at. I don't care anymore.
I can't remove. I really wish I could remove
Chivy,
emotion.
Chivy, am I right? Am I right, man?
Mate, I was literally going to say, like when Nick was just reading it, I was just shaking my head. Do not care.
I don't get how you can just not.
Well, until there's anything to report, like just shut up, man. Like not you, like the press. Yes.
Nick, shut the fuck up.
Not you. Like if I'm on Twitter and then like someone goes like, because there's all these crazy headlines. Sheikh Jassim has new options. Just shut the fuck. Like if you're not reporting about anything, I don't want to know. Just I don't care anymore. I really can't be asked.
It winds me up because everything you've seen, the Bloomberg reports and stuff coming out, and everything's leaning towards Qatar, right, and their favourites, and Sir Jim Ratcliffe's bid's dead in the water. But the fact that there's 6 of them arguing over something they inherited when they're selling it for 10 times the amount, that's what pisses me off. That's why we're sat here. That's why our transfer window's being ruined, and effectively they could, ruin our next season. That's why it's going to take 2-3 years to clear up this mess that they've made. That's why I'm really annoyed. I can't comprehend someone spending this long on a sale when you've been offered the amount of money that you've been offered and you're still trying to get it up after 7 months of negotiating. It just doesn't register in my head, and I can't just put it aside and compartmentalize whatever it is you call it and sit there and be like, oh, I'm not bothered. Because I am checking my phone every single day. I'm scrolling through Twitter every single day to see if there's been any sort of minimal update.
You're not scrolling through Twitter lately because you're on fucking read limits.
Oh, yeah, well.
You're just one scrolling and you're like...
on that.
Has he backtracked on that? Has he gone back on it?
I think so, yeah.
I heard some people at work talking about it, saying he backtracked.
To be honest, that'd probably be better for me because Twitter, I am way too active. My screen time's got, ever since it's an ownership been announced and the transfer window's open, my screen time's gone right to the roof. So
it's been an update from the Fiorentina CEO on the United rumours. He's quoted saying, "We have not received any bid or proposal for him at all. He's a Fiorentina player now. If an offer comes in, we'll consider it." So that's from the Fiorentina CEO.
That's positive. That's really positive.
Yep.
Because whenever they come out and deny shit like that, it means something has really come.
Yeah. Aaron saying, agree with Sam and Chivy, tired of hearing about it, don't even care who gets it now. That's how most people are feeling now. Like, we're just like, just either sell it or don't. Just make your mind up because I'm fucking... I don't care anymore.
Well, just the last thing, a question to the lovely viewers who are still with us. When do you think it's going to be done? You don't have to have any logical sense behind it, but in your heart of hearts, when do you feel the decision for Manchester United to be sold will be done? Just leave that comment in, and we can kind of wrap up on that, and then read a few more comments out if you've got some.
Yeah, I've just read that out from Dan. He put that in about the CEO of Fiorentina. Let's look. Agree with him there. I don't know if that was me or Chivy. Too much. No news is in the news. Yeah, absolutely. Brian Casey, what? We're up for sale since when? Don't worry about it, mate. It's fucking... Rio doesn't need to be saying any of this, really. He must be really trusted who he's getting information for him to be sharing it in confidence. Yeah, but Mango, he said this 4 weeks ago and nothing happened. So anytime you say something's happening, it's happening soon, and then it doesn't happen, your credibility then takes a hit. And I love Rio, like I do. Absolute legend for United. I enjoy some of his content and stuff like that, but if you keep chirping about stuff and it doesn't happen, your credibility takes a hit. So
yeah,
that's where it's at. Where is that going? For the Glazers leaning towards Qatar, if you believe Ornstein, guess the 2 are who don't want to go. Avram and Joel, I'm guessing.
Yep.
Is Mason a Manchester United player? Yeah, he did his medical today. I think there's an announcement tomorrow. Possibly.
Tomorrow, probably.
Yeah. When does Phil Jones get his testimonial? I don't think he's getting one, to be honest with you.
No.
People...
I'll go. I'll buy a ticket for that.
We'll set it up. Should we email him?
Yeah, we'll play. We'll play.
Yeah.
We'll play him.
Yeah, cross collaboration.
Five-a-side, we'll play. So people, in terms of the question you asked, Nick, about like when the ownership will get done, Prabrav Kandawale, end of July, Grey 100 in about an hour. Benjamin, end of July. Anonymous Mango, August 11th. He's very specific.
Very specific, yes.
Shah Sam, at this rate, December. Brian Casey, at this rate, October. Snails run faster than the Glazers. Honestly, wish we got to say goodbye to De Gea. So yeah, that's the rest of the comments.
I think they will. I think they will. They'll do something for him. I've seen stuff about that, saying they'll actually give him a proper farewell, which he definitely does deserve. I think it's tasteless if they just let him go and don't do anything about it. But that is Manchester United, unfortunately. That is the most up-to-date news you could possibly get about everything that's going on with Manchester United at the minute. Of course, you know the script, people. If anything does go live, even if it's 12 o'clock tonight, 6 o'clock in the morning, I will go live and we'll discuss it together. Make sure you are leaving a like on the video before you guys head off. Subscribe to the channel. And if you want to become a Real Red Ultra member, we've got 2 videos dropping this week. One's about Rasmus Hojlund and the other one you'll see later on in the week. But yeah, if you want to become a member, click the join button next to the notification bell for exclusive content, a badge next to your name, and a chance to feature on the show. And obviously it helps us support the channel and we get amazing guests on. We've got 2 on this week, so keep an eye out for that as well. So loads of content, loads of news going on with United, and loads of stuff happening. So Real Red Talk is the one and only place. Big thank you to the lads for coming on.
Peace. Got everybody, stay off Twitter and all the other stuff, because it's just going to hurt your mental health, man. Stay away from it.
Yeah, I agree, but I will not be doing that. I'll be still going through Twitter. So, yeah. Right, take care, everyone. We'll see you lot in the next one, you bunch of legends. Peace.
Peace.